Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/shark. Movies, films, and flicks. Let's throw back to our old school listeners. They'll know what I'm talking about. Well, hey everyone, welcome to Movies, Films, Flicks. I'm your host, John Lostwolf. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mark Hoffmeyer.
I just got done watching an epic movie. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it. It's about, the Old West, and there's this lawman, and he moves to this town with his brothers. And there's this dude he knows that's like gambles all the time, and he's always sick and drunk. And but they have this big gunfight, and then there's this big battle at the OK Corral. It's a movie called Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
When you just said the first three lines, I thought you were talking about Bone Tomahawk. I thought you were trying to red herring me into saying Tombstone.
I got you guys. That's for our old school listeners. You thought I was going to Kurt Russell you, but I Kevin Costner'd you.
John Lemongood, what red herring do you have up your sleeve?
So, wait, hold on. If you get Kevin Costner, is that being accosted? Like accosted?
Yeah, you're getting accosted. You're getting tin cup.
So I just saw The Boy, by the way, guys. Like very recently, I saw The Boy, and I walked into that dreading, like fearing upon all fears, what we talked about in episode 4. We talked about Annabelle. Like I was so worried this would be another Annabelle. I really liked this movie. From your review and the previews, it just looks like a confused woman that's in some house that disobeys all the rules and gets harassed by a doll.
Let's pretend I remember what The Boy is. But for our listeners who maybe don't know, what is The Boy again?
The Boy has Lauren Cohen, who from Maggie from The Walking Dead. And she is this nanny who's hired by these very, very old people to watch their 8-year-old boy who turns out to be a doll. And they treat it like they legit behave like this is a real boy. And she just kind of is going along for the ride because the pay is suspiciously too good. But that's why she stays, even though it's in this creepy remote house that has no Wi-Fi and no internet service. So she gets cabin in the woods. But it goes from that. But it's not – it starts out with all the tropes of an evil doll movie, but it ends up not being anything like an evil doll movie. I was actually pleased with it. They did an evil doll movie very well in the first act.
Yuck.
So,
dude, it was okay. It was really okay.
There's no plot twist, right? Or was there?
What?
Was there a plot twist? Kind of.
Yeah, there was a very, very big plot twist, which was very unlikely that someone would predict until really late in the movie.
Really?
Was this obvious as Garbage Pail Goodnight Mommy?
No.
Okay, good.
You really didn't like that movie, Mark.
I hate that movie. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it. My blood's raising.
If you want to, listen,
we already got into it. Anyone just listening for the first time to us tonight, just our previous episode, one back, we talked about Goodnight Mommy in great detail and how I liked it and how Mark thought it was garbage.
Garbage pail.
I totally understand your criticisms too. That's just it. Like I liked it and you didn't like it, and I totally appreciate why you didn't like it.
Yeah, well, I hate why you like it.
So,
no, I get it. I get why people like it, but I just don't get it. I get it.
You see, I'm the kid who's like, I like chocolate and you like vanilla, and I understand that we have different tastes. And you're like, yo, John, chocolate sucks.
Yeah.
Wham, right?
It's an agreeable disagreement.
Yeah,
basically.
This only happens with me with like Wes Anderson movies when people insult the guy from Insidious in this movie. Like these, I understand that everyone has like different positions on everything, and we're all adults and caring about movies is pointless. But I just don't like that movie.
We're sitting here, three grown-ass men who live in three totally different states, coordinating this podcast to do nothing about talking about movies, and you just said it's pointless to care about movies.
Yeah.
No. About like, it's pointless for me to sit here and be like, I hate this one individual movie. Like, I love talking about movies, but like, you know, in the long run, like, it doesn't, like, it's not important that like I disagree. Like, I love talking about, I'll talk movies all day. That's why we do this. But I mean, like, it's just not like in the long run, me hating why people like Goodnight Mommy is not important.
I got you. That's fair.
Yeah.
It just sounded funny.
Hey guys, speaking of pointless, let's answer some listener questions.
All right. So I got a couple questions from a Facebook group called Everything Sci-Fi and Fantasy. And despite that name, my questions happen to be all horror related for whatever reason. The question comes from Kit Thompson, and she asks, where are all the flies in the zombie movies?
Okay, hold on. Before we answer, I actually want to ask my own question. Mark, you're a PA guy.
Yeah.
I want to know, how difficult / expensive would it be to wrangle a herd of flies for a specific scene?
Yeah, it would be impossible.
Not so much like a movie.
Yeah, it would be absolutely impossible. I was working on all right, so get this. I was working on a reality show with, you know, survival, like out in the middle of nowhere. And they were supposed to have like a Eastern diamond rattlesnake, but they got like a Western diamond rattlesnake. So they can't even get one snake right. So there's no way to coordinate flies. And I actually got surrounded by bees on that. They should have filmed that. Like, I was surrounded by bees and I had to stand still for like 20 minutes. But yeah, it would be impossible. Flies would have to be CGI, which is incredibly expensive and really annoying.
Is that why there are no flies in zombie movies?
Yeah, I mean, it would be ridiculous. It would be like, I mean, every zombie would be surrounded by flies, and it would just be so expensive and bzzz, like, yeah, it would, from a logistical production standpoint, it would cost an immense amount of money. So that's the real reason. But I think that zombies just sort of eat them.
Really?
You think they shoot the flies? How do they even catch them? Are they Ralph Macchio with chopsticks?
They walk around with their mouth open. And then flies just fly in their mouths. Happens all the time.
What about the flies that land everywhere else?
They don't. I mean, there's no flies in this world. So, I mean, there has to be something weird going on. So maybe zombies have, like, mosquito breath. Maybe their gross breath attracts mosquitoes to fly into their mouths. Well, what's your explanation?
Well, my explanation, you know, I don't really have an explanation. My explanation is the opposite. It's more like, that's a good question because, I mean, flies and bacteria and ants and crap would, like, any walking zombie, like, in summer in Atlanta where Walking Dead kind of started, right?
Yeah.
Like, any one of those corpses would be, like, shambling and falling apart at the limbs in, like, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, there would be nothing left. So
ants and flies and bacteria.
So, yeah. I mean, assuming, you know, we're not looking into production. In a production, we actually got a real bull into a house. It was insane. It was like a real bull into a house. It was the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my life. But yeah, I mean, you can't wrangle flies, and CGI flies look terrible. So if this is like the world, and we're trying to think of something, well, maybe it's like The Happening. Maybe The Happening caused the zombies, and then all the flies just disappeared.
So what's the trees?
I mean, maybe there's a theological aspect to it, like maybe because these corpses are reanimated in the sense of when hell is full, the dead will walk the earth. Maybe it's not just animated corpse. Maybe there's something not celestial, I guess I'd say infernal to their essence, where they are no longer of the elements of this world that those flies would consume.
Or maybe the flies saw the zombie outbreak and were like, we're flying north. And then they flew up north and they all died in the cold.
They're like, yeah, all y'all humans are screwed. We're out of here.
But then they forgot how cold Canada gets and every single fly froze to death.
I mean, if I was making a movie, I'd just make buzzing sounds. And then if there was a scene where there was like in World War Z, when they're at that disease center or whatever, and there's the zombie trapped in the lab.
Yeah.
Like that, you could do a fly scene really well with real flies. Because rearing flies, there are USDA centers that are rearing like blowflies all the time. You could release thousands of them for multiple takes, and they're trapped in the room until you open the door. So it'd be uncomfortable for the actor. But just for that scene, and then all the other scenes from outside, you just hear the faint little. And every now and then, maybe a zombie looks confused and swats in the air, but you don't actually even illustrate the fly with CGI.
When Craig Ferguson was on, he had fake flies, like the Jay Leno fly. Oh my god, or Jimmy Fallon fly. Oh my gosh, like it was, and he's looking around like there's a fly everywhere.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like, maybe all right. So either the flies flew north and froze, or they're all eaten.
It's a good question though, because when I read that question, I really thought to myself, here's the point. I never really see flies in movies or TV shows. Like it's a weird thing you never really notice or think about. I think the only thing I've ever seen a fly in is, obviously The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. That was just like one big fly.
They're my big worry. My worry would be the ants, because like we have all lived in Florida and now I live in South Texas. Fire ants. We all know that if you ever step somewhere and the soil is soft and you're not on the beach, you immediately leap away from where you are and stomp your foot, right? Because it could be so what if these like Georgia and Florida and Texas zombies step into fire ant mounds and now they're covered in fire ants? So when you're holding these zombies at bay and trying to keep them from biting you, the fire ants are crawling all over you from off of the zombie. And so you're getting bitten to hell by thousands of fire ants while you're trying to hold a zombie away. Like, that would actually be a great weapon for the zombies without even realizing it.
Isn't that what happened in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those stupid giant ants.
Yeah. We don't need to mention that movie again. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So maybe aliens collected them all, like in Indiana Jones.
Sure. Aliens. That's the answer.
I hate the ending of that movie. There's levels and dimensions all over, and you're like, oh, brother.
Yeah, it didn't really work. I can see why you wanted to go that route, because it was 50s and it was sci-fi. It was just, I don't know, it just wasn't Indiana Jones.
Spielberg threw George Lucas under the pod racer when he was like, he's like, George writes it, I direct it. So he basically wiped his hands clean of that movie.
Yeah, like he had no input whatsoever. Yeah. My hands are tied. I'm just an uber famous guy.
Hey, talk to George. I
did watch Shia in the movie, I swear.
All right, what's next?
So, second question actually also comes from the same person, and she has now a vampire question. She asks, do vampires avoid sick people because they've gone bad?
I don't think vampires avoid anybody, though. Like, I think they're down to just eat whatever because they're already dead. They're not going to get the flu.
Well, I mean, vampires prefer virgin blood in a lot of the traditional movies, but I think that might almost be from like a clean from sin religious mentality.
Actually, What We Do in the Shadows cleared up that argument forever.
What was it?
He's like, basically, you just want the blood of someone who hasn't blanked anybody. I mean, like, has there been sick blood in movies?
Well, so in Interview with the Vampire, they bring up...
Oh, yeah, when someone's dead, right?
That wasn't sick blood, though. Yeah, that was dead blood. And, of course, no vampire is drinking dead blood in any of these movies. An Interview with the Vampire just illustrated that it's bad. But that's dead, though, so that's different. But, I mean, it's like the zombies in World War Z, switching to zombies, avoided sick people, right?
Yeah.
But that was zombies, and they're not intelligent. They don't have the same motives. I don't know if vampires ever really avoid sick people, but I think that they, in a lot of the movies anyway, they prefer like things that have been exposed to fewer toxins, like babies. Yeah. Like a lot of vampire movies, a couple of them anyway, like, oh, a baby, like they freak out over a drinking a baby's blood, or like virgins or things like that. But I don't know about sick. Like, if you have the flu, are they going to be like?
But you're home in bed, like, you know, at the blood rave where they eat the humans. Like, nobody with the flu is going to be at a blood rave. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know, during these
people with syphilis will be.
Yeah, exactly. But during these attacks, like, you know, sick people are chilling at the house, so it doesn't look like a very cinematic thing. Like, like some guy with sniffles isn't going to get eaten by Dracula. So I think, yeah, and I don't. I think a vampire should work at a hospital.
Easy access.
Yeah, like iZombie, she's a zombie that works for the medical examiner. She eats the dead brains.
In being human, the vampire is a male nurse.
Yeah, see, there we go. Like he probably deals with some funky stuff or blood pack. So I just think it doesn't make like flies in real life. I don't think it makes it look very cinematic. You see some guy on the couch sniffling, and he gets his blood sucked. It just doesn't sound fun.
Probably not as tasty.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some amoebas.
Yeah.
Do cheap vampires wait for drunk people? Like,
wait, what?
Do like vampires who don't want to spend money on beer wait for drunk people to leave clubs and then drink their blood? Is that what cheap vampires do? That's what I would do.
He was drinking Bud Light. I'm not getting a buzz on this.
Hey, what were you drinking tonight? Miller. Nah.
Miller. It's like Michael Miller. And Bud Light is like this dude named Bud who just lost 50 pounds.
What were you drinking tonight? Stella? You were drinking Stella? Oh,
Wait,
come over here.
Hold on. Let me correct me if I'm wrong here, but don't we consume 10% of our nutrients of whatever food they ate? Like I forgot what it was called, but like we don't 100% consume all the nutrients our food eats, right? Like it was always like a very small percentage. So
this sounds like a nonsense thing that someone wrote that didn't understand science.
I could have sworn that was the case, but we don't really.
Well, I mean,
a vampire
when
wouldn't
you eat something, some of the atoms in the compounds of the thing that you're eating will be reappropriated into water and blood cells and tissue in your body. But I mean, to say that what your food ate, like that gets very vague then, because over time, whatever you ate,
just say yes or no,
goes away. This is a nonsense question. This is a nonsense question.
So we're going with yes.
All right.
Nice. So the answer to this question is yes.
My answer is nonsense.
Nice.
Hey, wait, didn't we start with nonsense and end with nonsense?
We started with completely legit questions about flies and zombie universes.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare. I feel bad for the PA that would have to wrangle flies.
Oh, he's not out there with a net in the woods. You just get someone who's rearing flies.
No, they would make a PA do it.
With a net in the woods?
It saves money. How does this save money? It saves money. I've actually retired from that life.
Mark, you were almost sounding like one of our old bosses for a second. A listener would have to know us really, really well to know who we're referring to.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, that does it for listener questions. Thank you once again to our listener. I don't think we got a name, did we?
Kit Thompson from the Everything Sci-Fi and Fantasy Facebook group.
Cool. Thank you once again. Mark, what topic are we talking about this week?
Creature features.
Creature features.
So 21st century creature features. 21st century creature features. Say that 5 times. So something weird happened, guys. When our horror post came out, or whenever one of our posts kind of hit big and they go across the internet and there's a lot of comments, the majority of the comments are just terrible. People, they're like, "Where's The Shining?" They think this list is stupid. Like we had a voter poll. I didn't make the list at all, but voters made it, and people are saying how terrible my list was. So normally when a post hits big for us, the comments that I don't even read messages anymore, the comments, because you read them and they just kind of hurt your soul. So I wrote this post about 5 21st century creature features that you might have missed. And so I wrote it for Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I put it on Movie Pilot, and I got over 8,000 views on that. And it went up on their Movie Pilot horror page. And there was about 100 comments. And this is the first comment board I've read in probably, months. But all of them were positive. So I'm like reading through it. I'm like, people, this is the first post I think I've ever written that people were like, "I love it. This is the best." So, I mean, it was just 5 creature features, but like it felt pretty good, like knowing that like I didn't get destroyed in the comment board for a big post. But I guess what makes this post work is these movies are just all good, and you might have missed them. So some of them are kind of cult classics, and people have kind of bonded around them. And so before we get into creature features, I just kind of wanted to ask you guys, like, what makes a good creature feature?
The squirminess factor.
The what?
Like, how uncomfortable does it make you feel? Because I think creature feature is like the star of the show is the creature, right? And I think when we think of creatures, like it should be defined as something that we're not used to, something that makes us uncomfortable, something that, just very icky. It's the technical term, right?
Yeah, icky. So, that was Newton's favorite word.
Yeah. So the squirm factor for me is very high for a creature feature.
I immediately think of The Thing and Alien.
Yeah, exactly. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah. Slitter.
What about you, Levingood?
So I would have originally thought the creature itself has to be really, really cool, right? But then when I started reflecting on the movies that we're going to discuss today and some of the other movies that were on your list that you mentioned, I found myself noticing a commonality in the movies that I liked, in these movies that we're going to discuss. And that's that you need to have characters that you really, really care about for your creature feature to work. You can put out a horror movie with stupid jump scares and people are entertained even if the characters are stupid, right? Just because there's good jump scares or good gore, this, that, or the other. But if you're making a creature-driven movie, my opinion is your characters are more important than your creature. And in fact, I won't say it yet, but one of the movies that we're going to discuss, you don't see the creature, and it still works, in my opinion, as a creature feature.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right there. So you have a good creature, an original creature, and then you have people that you like. And I think the movie, it wasn't made in the 21st century, but I've been watching creature features just for homework to talk about this because I love creature features. And I watched Tremors again, and I hadn't watched Tremors in a few years, and I remember loving it, and I watched it again, and I love it even more now.
And what a quirky, lovable set of characters they are.
And they're all believable, too. Like, when I first watched it, I thought it was like the middle of nowhere town, but there's like there's like a school nearby. There's, people working on the road. Like, there's a town, 20 miles away. So this isn't like the middle of nowhere. This is like a believable place. And there's a woman that lives there with her daughter. She does pottery, so she needs a lot of room to do her kiln. These guys are like the maintenance men of the town. And like, it's smart, too, because, obviously there are no cell phones. And so, like, the road got blocked out from the mountains, so they couldn't get out, right? The cell phones went down because, the tremors destroyed those. And there was no CB. They couldn't get CB reception because the mountains covered it. So it created, like, a very believable – I know these are tremors under the ground. But it created, like, this believable thing with these nice characters. And, like, you have the survivalists. You have, like, who are loving it. Like,
including Rhea – what's her name? Rhea.
Oh man, she's like
Rhea Perlman.
No, that's Danny DeVito's wife.
Reba McEntire. I'm sorry, not Rhea Perlman.
But like everyone's just so likable. They're friendly. They deal with things logically. I don't know. They're just like you like the characters. The first half of it's just Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward just driving around, chatting and having fun. Like there's like in their little workspace, they have old couches, they have a toilet they put ice in and drink beer out of. Like not literally, there's cans in the ice, but like there's just such good touches. So for me, that really, I know there's thousands of creature features, but for me, that's my kind of creature feature is a movie like Gremlins or Rare Exports that kind of combines humor with originality. Attack the Block. And so the 5 creature features that I included in my list that people might have missed are, I wouldn't say stereotypically horror films, but they're very good creature features with strong characters. And I guess I'll start with Troll Hunter. In that comment board, everybody's like, Troll Hunter is the greatest movie ever. And I watched it again recently, and I was sitting there jumping up and down going, this is the greatest movie ever. Like, I love it. It's such a smart movie. And the story of Troll Hunter, it's a found footage movie about some college students trying to find this bear poacher. And it turns out he's a troll hunter. There's a government conspiracy. And then the kids end up following him, as he goes and hunts trolls. And this is going to sound random, but when I was in college, I went to the Everglades and filmed a documentary about the pythons down there. So like watching these kids like pursue danger, some people would think they're kind of dumb, but our crew, we were going on hunts. We went on hunts with like python hunters. And like we were walking through the muck. So we were looking for footage. So like when I'm watching these kids with this troll hunter, I'm like, I get it. And like it kind of resonated more to me and it felt more believable. So you like the film crew. It's just like, some nice kids. The troll hunter Hans, he's just a good old military guy that works by himself and hunts trolls. And the CGI is very impressive. I just think it's one of the best found footage movies. I think I would put it up in my top 5 found footage movies of all time. I adore it. And it's Norwegian, by the way.
And this was before found footage got really, really, really trendy. I mean, found footage was taken off, but this is 2010. Like, we weren't getting inundated with found footage films yet.
Yeah, because Paranormal Activity was, 2008? Something like that?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pause for just a second on this and come back to the characters, because this movie is a good example of it, and the other movies we're going to talk about are too. All movies obviously benefit from good characters. But in this movie, the characters themselves don't develop because of their relationships with one another. They develop because of their acceptance, in this case, that they're in a world with trolls, that they're in a world with this creature. So all their character development is to the scenario and not to each other in their own lives. So, I think that's the important thing with our characters, is that their character development is driven solely by their adaptation to the creature.
Yeah, no, and I love it. And I love how you slowly learn more about the creatures. There's a scene in a diner where Hans, the troll hunter, is just talking about trolls. And he said trolls are kind of dumb. And one time he saw a troll trying to eat its own tail. And he ended up rolling down a hill. I don't know. And at the end, this is going to sound weird, but that troll who has rabies, it's kind of heartbreaking. This massive Godzilla or King Kong sized troll. And he's just storming around, and you're kind of it makes you sad. And it's a CGI movie about trolls and how they get wiped out, and how and didn't you say that their biology it's not believable, but it's kind of believable?
Well, the way they deliver it sure is. So yeah, I'm a biologist. Any listener who hasn't caught on yet, but I thought that this movie was charming. They gave you just enough to not ever be wrong, and always enough to be interesting. Hans explains how so trolls in Dungeons and Dragons and in some myths have multiple heads, and even in Greek mythology there's a titan called Hecatoncheires that has 50 heads and 100 arms. So this is kind of an early derivative of a multi-headed troll. And so he explains how the extra heads are accessory organs that some species of troll develop throughout their life cycle to assist them in peacocking to impress females or to intimidate other trolls. But that when their faces move, it's really just a nerve impulse. It's not an independent head with an independent brain. So that was really cool. And then they leave it at that, and how there are different species and subspecies of trolls, and he explains why they explode in ultraviolet light or why they turn to stone, and they touch on detection and tracking and baiting and gestation periods and intelligence, and that they're mammals. And so I kind of geeked out to this, right? They never go into detail, because if they did, that would be setting a troll trap that would snag the movie, right? They could get caught being stupid.
Yeah.
And they never do that.
And I love how they explain the troll attacks. This guy from the government comes out with these fake bear claws, and he walks around, and then they dump a dead bear.
Yeah.
And then these guys show up with the wrong type of bear, and they're like, no one will notice. And but all the hunters are like, a bear didn't do this. But whenever a human gets killed by a troll, they dump a bear, and then they do little bear tracks to make it seem like it was a bear attack. It's just but it's all, I don't know, it just works. It's a creature feature that I think I'm so entrenched in the film world. I feel like everyone's watched it. But if you talk to a lot of people who aren't film fans, they haven't watched Troll Hunter. But I think it's a movie that really should be watched. I think it's a very good film.
Oh, God. Just again, I've got a lot of friends who work for the government, like Fish and Wildlife. So this guy is basically an underpaid government employee, right?
Yeah.
And all this is a secret. He's working at what is officially a secret troll wildlife sanctuary, right? And when the trolls escape, as the plot goes, that's why he hunts down and tracks these trolls. When they leave the perimeters of this refuge, he has to put them down or bring them back. And so but this is a thankless job because the public doesn't know about it. So he's underpaid. So when these kids come along with these cameras and he's kind of caught revealing, little bits, you get the sense that he's not supposed to tell you this, because he even says maybe if the public knew something about this, we could get more money for troll management strategies. time, obviously, they could have told the world, right? The government's suppressing it, and he's just like, yeah, this is actually good.
Yeah, like there's this great, like he puts like tires under bridges, and I like the little touches of the film. Like it is a very well thought out movie from head to toe. And if I had to recommend any of the 5 movies that I wrote on this post, I would say Troll Hunter is the movie I would recommend. Have you seen this movie, Last Bath?
No, I haven't. I think it's been on my Netflix list for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's on most people's Netflix queue. They just haven't watched it yet.
This is one of those movies that I think it's easy for it to keep getting deprioritized until, like, because you can read a lot about movies and disagree with them later, but like sometimes when you hear people really raving and hooting and hollering, you get off your ass and watch it. Yeah. I'm hoping that listeners will do that. You know,
hey, we got a hoot and holler now.
Hooting and hollering.
Troll hunter.
We are making troll noises here, and we are covering ourselves in troll scent. We are immersing ourselves in troll land.
That's right. You know, ever since I saw that movie, I got troll gunk all around my house and me.
That's right. and I'm always cleaning my crotch and my armpits.
Yeah, that's right.
The human scent. Yeah. One thing I really loved about this, and this kind of holds true for any other really good creature feature, probably, if we stop and think about it, especially things like The Thing. But every different scene where we encounter a troll is a complete, like, each scene has totally its own feel. Like, it's a totally different scenario. Whereas, like, in a lot of, like, movies, like, if you watch Feast or any of these movies with just loads and loads of creatures attacking, you know, their B cast of characters, like, it's always the same stakes. Okay, we're trying to avoid these monsters. Oh, crap, there's a monster. Let's not die. We must get away. And it always feels exactly the same. And this isn't like that. Sometimes you're engaging the creature. Other times you're avoiding the creature. Other times you're trying to watch the creature. There are different threats of the creatures. And the creatures themselves, they all have their own personality. It's not like, oh, another troll.
Yeah.
Each troll is different.
And they're not demonizing them like in Ernest Scared Stupid or Willow. These trolls are kind of being forced out of their territory due to expansion. You know, highways want to come through. They have to kill the trolls. So the trolls, you know, these ones have rabies, but they're not made out to be bad guys. They're just there.
There is one thing that they do, and it's only briefly referenced, like way in the beginning before they've encountered a troll. And the guy actually warns them, other than the troll scent and washing their crotches and stuff and not making too much noise, he says, is anybody here a Christian? And, you know, someone says, well, you know, I was baptized. He says, do you wear a cross? Do you go to church? And no. Okay, fine. And then one person says, I'm a Muslim. And he actually says Muslims are probably okay. But they actually brought up that trolls could sense and or disliked Christianity in the movie.
I mean, it's Norway. You know, like, you had the Vikings, you had the pagans, you know, like the trolls, you know, like that's kind of like the history there, the pagan god. So they were probably annoyed by him, I guess.
That's like an interesting it's like they just touched on the mysticism.
Yeah.
And I like that one troll was under a bridge. There was a bridge troll.
He was an angry little bugger.
This is actually so Dungeons and Dragons or Lord of the Rings, because there's a bridge troll, right? And Grimm, if you will. There's a bridge troll. There's a multi-headed troll that's huge in the woods. There's a mountain troll. Like, there are hill trolls that live on the hills. Like, there are all these different kinds of trolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it builds a world. This movie builds a world that you want to see more of. And guys, we're hooting and hollering.
Hoot. I don't know what, like...
Norwegian. Hootin' and hollering.
Hootin' shootin' Newton.
Ein, zwei, drei.
I think I just went Swedish Chef on them.
Yeah, you're the chocolate mousse. So guys, just, you know, if you're listening to this podcast, watch Troll Hunter. You will not be disappointed.
And if you have both this and Jack the Giant Killer in your queue, watch this first.
However, the best hair goes to Ewan McGregor and Jack the Giant Slayer.
Oh. All right.
That guy's quaff in that movie is ridiculous.
He has the best hair in every movie he's ever been in, except for Star Wars Episode 1.
I feel like that hair was there, and he just sort of grew around it. Like, you know how a baby grows hair? I feel like the hair grew him.
So beautiful. Oh. All right. think now's a good time to take a quick break.
Yeah, I'm going to see if Ewan McGregor was born with that haircut right now.
Yeah, all this hair talk. All right, guys, we'll be back in a little bit.
Hey, podcast listeners, this is Kyle from Word of the Bay.
And Nick.
And we're here to talk to you about Word of the Bay.
Yeah, Word of the Bay.
Yeah.
What is Word of the Bay?
Well, God, it's a Tampa Bay sports podcast. What is Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay is the Tampa area. St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater.
So we talk about sports and other things.
Which include Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Tampa Bay Rays.
And another bay, which is slipping my mind.
Oh, I don't even know what that bay is.
Hey, guys, what are you guys talking about?
Nothing.
Hey, Jonathan. This is our third host, Jonathan.
Whoa, did I just walk in on something?
No, you're fine. But if you want to listen to Word of the Bay, go ahead and go to www.sharkdropper.com.
And check us out. Yeah.
Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. So the results are in. Ewan McGregor's hair is still glorious.
Yep. Your birdie hair is glorious.
Yeah,
You're Swedish chefing it again.
I can just imagine it just rippling in the wind as he rides his motorcycle down that dusty road.
I think it rides the motorcycle.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's just holding on for dear life.
Actually, his hair was so stiff that it's like if it was in the air, like if he was riding on a motorcycle, I feel like the air, instead of water making the humidity, it's hair gel. And that's what, when he got off the motorcycle, that's why his hair looks like that. It's all stiff and like in place.
Now, if you guys haven't watched Long Way Round and Long Way Down, it's a documentary about Ewan McGregor and his buddy Charlie Borman. They went all the way around the world in motorcycles, and then they went all the way, down through Africa on motorcycles as well. Really good books and very good documentary on Netflix. So Long Way Around, Long Way Down. Watch one episode a night with the lights off. You'll love every second of it.
That's so weird. I never knew he named his hair. Charlie what?
Charlie. Chuck Finley. Chuck Finley is his hair. That Chuck Finley.
That'd be good. I think you have another listener question for us.
I do. The next one also comes from Facebook. It's from the Creepy Central Facebook group. Question comes from Selena C. Galagos Cox. That's a big name. She asks, if a vampire turns a zombie into a vampire, does the zombie regenerate back to health?
Yeah, but a vampire wouldn't bite a zombie.
Well, so we have touched on that, right? We touched earlier that they don't drink the blood of the dead. We'll just assume that all these movies are in the same universe. So they don't drink the blood of the dead. But this is undead. And vampires in movies do drink each other's blood because they're undead. That happens.
Yeah, but I think they would look at the zombie and be like, ew. This is how I see it going down.
I'll bet it's gross blood. Yeah. It's gross.
So Lazvath leaves Three Daughters Brewing. He's all hopped up on really great IPA and stouts. He's drunk out of his mind, right? Mm-hmm. A vampire comes up, drinks his blood, doesn't kill him, just enough to for the cheap vampire to get drunk. So we have a drunk vampire on the loose. He sees somebody staggering around, kind of moaning. He bites that moaning person. Then that moaning person suddenly goes, what? So maybe. You know what I mean? A drunk vampire could possibly turn a zombie back to a real person.
So first off, it's deoxygenated blue blood, right? It literally has less density because of the lack of oxygen in it. And is that the equivalent of drinking a flat beer or a flat warm soda?
Yeah, it's like you poured a glass of Coke, you went on vacation for 6 months, and came back and drank it.
Right, and then instead of a cold beer or a cold soda, you know how they're warm later. Well, a zombie, instead of being nice, hot 97-degree blood, it's like this room temperature, blue blood. Ugh, no, it just sounds. I'm not even a vampire, and this sounds extra gross to me.
I think that vampires would, because if you see What We Do in the Shadows, the vampires don't mess with the zombies there. So I think they stay away from zombies. I think vampires are I ain't messing with that.
So if a zombie is an undead that is not only not healing, but just continuously deteriorating, right? And a vampire is an undead that has super healing and is indefinitely preserved. Do they just average out to being a regular dude who ages?
Yeah, I think so. Just a gross person who goes to raves a lot.
It's like if a vampire bites a zombie, it just comes back to life as a regular non-vampire human.
Like Luke Wilson from Idiocracy, just like the most average human being alive.
Elizabeth, what was your take on all this?
Okay.
I always, whenever Lazarus starts with "okay," I know we're in for something good.
I feel like it's a doozy. Like he's got all these ideas packed in there.
So I was thinking about it. All right, I tried to picture what would really happen if a vampire bit a zombie. The vampire would bite the zombie, and nothing would happen. You know, the zombie wouldn't turn into a vampire. The vampire wouldn't turn into a zombie or whatever. They would just, the vampire would be like, ugh, like, what is this? Like, I didn't know you were a zombie. You know, he just like flies away or whatever vampires do. The zombie being bitten by the vampire in his limited zombie brain is like, oh man, I just got bit by a vampire. I'm going to turn into a vampire now. So, like, he spends the rest of his undead life, like, trying to become a vampire, even though he's still a zombie. So he goes to, like, these, like, vampire raves, like, all dressed in leather, but, like, he's shunned by the actual vampires. He tries to
bit by you.
Yeah, he tries to fit in with, like, the vampire, like, subculture, but, like, it's just, like, they just won't accept him. And it's just, like, a very sad existence.
You know, the good thing, though, the one unsad thing is that now, like, this undead zombie, you know, Chuck, whatever, Steve. So zombie Steve.
Wait, Chuck Steve?
Chuck Steve. So Chuck Steve zombie goes to put on his leather pants for the Blade zombie rave, and they fit just like he was in college, man, the zombie diet. Now, you know, like, his butt isn't all, like, fat with his freshman 15 or whatever. Like, he is now, like, sleek and fitting in his leather pants again.
Yeah. Also, he's a little stuck up towards the other zombies. He thinks he's better than the other zombies because he's a vampire now.
So he has no home, basically. Vampires won't accept him, and zombies he doesn't think he thinks he's too good for.
But in his rotting mind, he's a vampire through and through.
So does he hang out with, like, werewolves then?
Yeah, I don't know if they're the cool werewolves that the vampires hang out with. Sure, or at least he tries to anyway.
I just pictured Rudy when you were explaining this to me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a vampire. Put me in.
Like, at raves, his guts are all falling out. Like, everyone's just disgusted.
All the vampires like, ugh, who invited him?
There's no flies around him. Well, actually, the vampires keep them around to prevent flies.
There you go.
Because flies drink blood. They're competition.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they keep them around because zombie movies repel flies.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they keep the zombie around so flies don't pop around.
Okay, yeah.
And they hate flies. They're competition, so they hate them.
So the answer to the question is zombies hate flies.
Whoa, so speaking of blood sucking, we are segueing. We just inadvertently segued into the next movie, guys.
Dude, when you talked about Lazabath drinking, like, all that craft beer for your drunk zombie example, I thought that you were going there right then.
Ooh.
I did two segues.
Which way are you going to go?
Jeez Louise.
Double segued like a Paul Blart sequel, but not soul crushing.
All right, so the next movie is Grabbers. And John and I, it's a 2012 release about an Irish town that is attacked by aliens. The thing is, the aliens suck blood, but they're allergic to alcohol. So this Irish village on this beautiful island, you could just put a camera somewhere and you would love it. These villagers just have to get wasted to survive a alien attack.
Dude,
that's basically
this
but
movie.
we banged the drum for this movie hard in 2012, and, like, you know, the Grabbers loved us. Like, the writer, the director, like, they were like, we love movies on the flicks, because we were just promoting the living daylights out of this movie. And there's a reason for it. It's a brilliant idea, but with this, you know, a lot of times when people come up with a brilliant idea, the movie doesn't live up to that idea. Because I feel like they're patting themselves on the back for having that good idea. But this movie's just cute. It's, like, adorable. It's violent. It's funny. It has really good new aliens that Star Wars Force Awakens ripped off. It's like the tiny film that could and would get drunk. And it's just a lot of fun. Richard Coyle and Ruth Bradley are really good as the Gardas, the cops on the island. The rest of the villagers are just like a bunch of funny cool drunks. And it's just like not drunks, but just people living out there and fishing. And it's just a fun creature feature. It's just like, and like, there's little moments that I love. So there's a scene where there's this creature that they think is dead and he's coming back to life. So someone grabs like a baseball bat, someone grabs like a cricket bat, and there's nothing left to grab. So the main cop, he just takes a magazine and rolls it up.
He rolls up a magazine. Yeah. I know. I love that so much.
And like, I love how like they're always calling it like, you big ugly bastard, and like the little monsters, they call him a vicious little. This is a PG-13 episode, so I'm gonna say it. They call him a vicious little fuck, and we can use one F-bomb.
You used it up, man.
Yeah,
I was gonna use it later.
Yeah, and so there's my favorite scene in this movie, right? Is so they're all locked up in this pub, and there's this massive grabber outside, right? And so this guy has this super soaker that he's rigged to shoot flames with alcohol, but it's raining outside. So this guy lights it up and he runs outside like he's the hero about to blast the grabber, but the rain soaks out the wick, and so he's just left with like a useless super soaker. It's just a charming movie. I'm going to use it. It's charming.
Oh no, I actually used that word like 3 times in my review. Like the townsfolk are very like quaint and simple, not simple-minded like simpleton, but they're simple folk with like normal. I don't know. What am I going for?
Well, they're
interested in each other. It's a small town, so they're interested in each other, and that gets us interested in them. Like, they're nosy about each other's love lives. That's really cute with the bar wench or barmaid, whatever. And like, that's really sweet what happens with that. And the two main characters, these two Gardas, one's an alcoholic who's trying to reform to impress this straight-laced woman, and the other is a woman who's never drank before, who is awkwardly and delightfully trying to drink to protect herself from these aliens. And that's just charming and sweet. And by the way, when we first see the hatchling grabbers, they're making these cute little squeaky sounds like a Pomeranian's chew toy. They're so adorable. Yeah. They're so charmingly adorable until they attack.
Yeah. And I will say, so this guy at the very end, there's this massive grabber, right? And this guy's drunk and he thinks he's safe. And he's getting all cocky. He's like, I'm drunk. This monster can't get me. So the monster just flicks him, and the guy flies like 300 yards away. It's the best flick of cinema. If I had to write the best flicks of cinema, that would be the best flick of cinema. Like, the monster just whaps him.
This movie covers a lot of bases because you have like really entertaining, like bonkers creatures, right? They're basically evil, blood-chugging space tentacle monsters, right? Yep. This movie gets silly, like it's more fun than a drunk panty raid full of tentacles. Yeah. And then again, it's very quaint and charming and sweet. There's a lot of humanity in the characters.
Yeah, and like what I love is the guy said the main cop, Richard Coyle. He's a drunk, but like it's not because his wife died or anything like that. A woman just left him. Like, I like that though. I like that, like, some of these movies like Gravity and there's more, but these people are like, I'm lost and I don't want to live, and like it's so dramatic. But this guy's just kind of drunk because he went through a bad breakup. No, I like that. I like that the stakes aren't that huge and he doesn't have to come to grips with his humanity. At the end, he throws his flask away, and he's definitely thinking that's a bad idea. Like, he's going to drink again. I don't know. And also what makes this movie is just being in Ireland. Ireland is a beautiful country, and they're just filming on this island that is just incredible. And so basically all you have to do is put the camera down, and you're looking at something great. I mean, I think that's really smart with low-budget filming, is to really maximize your area. Like Slow West came out this year, and it's a Western that's supposed to take place in America, but they filmed it in New Zealand just because the scenery, it was cheap and the scenery was beautiful. So like, if you're on a budget, just place a camera somewhere beautiful and let the actors act in front of it. It'll just make it so much better. So it's picturesque. The characters are fun. The monsters are deadly. People get wiped out in this. I mean, there's a good reference to Night of the Living Dead. But yeah, it's just a movie that you root for the people and you enjoy. I think everybody that I've recommended Grabbers to has enjoyed it. This is a movie that I don't think I've met really people who have disliked it. I don't know how you could really hate it.
You show me someone who disliked Gravity, and I'll show Grabbers. I don't know why I said Gravity.
Because I said that earlier with Sandra Bullock.
Okay. But you show me someone who doesn't like Grabbers, and I'll show you someone who I don't like.
Yeah. It's like, I'm a grown man and I know better, and there's more important things in life, but I don't like it.
Look, we talked earlier, like, we can all have our different opinions. We're all entitled to them, but if you don't like Grabbers, you are flat out wrong.
I don't get. I guess for me is, I don't know how you could dislike Tremors or Grabbers or Troll Hunter. These are they're good movies. They're well-made movies, and they're fun, and they're inventive. And for creature features, like you said, John, I mean, I guess you said there has to be some menace, but people get wiped out in this. You like the people, and if you look back to the creature features you mentioned with Alien, you actually like those characters. So it's a different type. It's a horror comedy, but it's a very good creature feature. It's just I just love that people have to get drunk to battle aliens. Like, if I would have came up with that idea, I just would have patted myself on the back and wrote a terrible movie. But the guy who did this didn't do that. So watch Grabbers. It's actually not on Netflix anymore, but just buy it. Go on Amazon and buy it.
Yeah, I feel like they succeeded a lot in the same way that Shaun of the Dead did. Just not quite as acclaimed. I don't think it's as good as Shaun of the Dead, but Shaun of the Dead had a lot of serious horror to it, like the throat tears and things, and a lot of great character moments, and a lot of great general humor, both among the characters outside of horror and then relating to the horror. And I think all those general components are just blazingly shown well in this movie, because all the characters have nuance in Shaun of the Dead, and all the characters have nuance in this.
Yeah, it's just watch it. And the next one that we're going to talk about is Willow Creek. It was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. Yes, that Bobcat Goldthwait, who's actually really become a solid director. What did he do? World's Best Dad. Have you seen? I don't know if you saw that with Robin Williams, which is just like a really messed up movie. But he's actually turned himself around and he's become a director. And World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams. And so Bobcat Goldthwait made this found footage movie about this really likable couple who go looking for Bigfoot. And originally, Bobcat Goldthwait wanted to make like a Christopher Guest mockumentary. But he is such a Bigfoot fan, he didn't want to seem like he was mocking the people who follow Bigfoot. So instead, he just made a movie about this really kind of cool couple going out in the woods and looking for Bigfoot. And it's not bloody, it's not gory, but it's good. It's done well, and it's done out of respect. And I think it's just a movie that really punches above its weight. And I appreciate when two people and someone with a camera can make a movie like this, like Creep, and I just appreciate it. I think it's a good movie.
So I also really like this movie. I threw this up all over Facebook, and I got to say, a lot of people flat out hate this movie. And I'll also say that a lot of people think that the ending to this movie was a punch to the nuts to anyone making Bigfoot movies.
Really? Why?
Because in the end, it wasn't a Bigfoot. It was a stupid, fat, naked woman in her underwear who looked drunk, who was grunting. It made no sense. It was just some weird drunk hill woman. And like people like, and I won't let one scene or one ending to a movie like spoil a movie for me. But I mean, a lot of people in general, I think it's fair to say that it does. And that really spoiled it for a lot of people. And then other people were simply complaining because they didn't see the monsters until the end, whatever I just talked about. But that I thought was fine because I loved the characters. I loved what they were building with it. I guess some people just wanted to see some drooling, gorilla man in the woods. Which, if you want that, you can see like 8 different Lance Henriksen Sasquatch movies.
Yeah, he's made 3 of them.
But I love this movie too. I love the characters. I don't think it's the same quality, but I thought of movies like I even referenced in our last episode, like Cloverfield Chronicle, Afflicted. Like I really loved these characters in the beginning. I almost didn't care if it ended up being a horror movie. I just liked watching the relationship of them. And in this movie, that's like half the movie. There isn't even an element or a hint of horror. You have to be reminded you're watching a horror movie.
Yeah, and there's a scene in there that I absolutely love. So they're out camping, and he proposes to her. She says no, but it's a 20-minute single shot of the two of them just sitting in the forest. And no, not in the forest, but in a tent. And it's just, at night. And you know what's funny? The actors were complaining because they're like, why don't we just do this in a hotel room? But Bobcat's like, no, we're doing this out in the woods at 2 a.m., which would be miserable for a production. But it got the performance out of them. It's 20 minutes. There's a 20-minute single shot in this with them reacting to the woods.
Yeah, and I really like that scene a lot, too. That was another scene that was a reason for people hating this movie, by the way. They just complained it was all this with nothing happening, whereas I'm watching and I'm thinking how cool it is and how, like, that would be me. That's like me on my first camping trip, hearing noises and, like, whether I'm right or my imagination is getting carried away with me, like, I'm trying to come up with the story of what's making these sounds. And they're doing that on a Bigfoot hunt expedition, you know, and he believes in them. And now she's starting to believe in them. And these sounds are getting closer and there's leaves rustling and you just see them like reacting to each other and the sounds. I thought it was great. Yeah. And I loved it.
I liked how he was self-conscious about filming because he took his girlfriend out to, do this documentary. And they're both like talented, good-looking people who've both been in Bobcat Goldthwait films before, and they're just likable. I don't know. I like that she goes along with him with this. Actually, I want to hear what you think about the ending. So there's a theory where the overweight nude woman is the woman from the missing person poster earlier in the film. So in Willow Creek, there's a missing person poster, and it's of that woman. She is Bigfoot's forest bride, which is a phenomenon that is discussed in Bigfoot lore where Bigfoot supposedly takes human women as his sex partners. Jim is obviously killed by Bigfoot, and Kelly has been taken as the next forest bride.
Okay. I think that is a funny, stupid idea. Like, because if you were taken by is Bigfoot's bride, like, wouldn't you just run away the first chance that you got? After being presumably unconsensually mated with by this Bigfoot, like, wouldn't you just leave when you got a chance? And why does she look like a zombie? Why is she like drooling and almost like she got drugged or given too much Thorazine?
I mean, she's Bigfoot's forest bride, I guess. I mean, that's just that's what the theory's going around. But there's a forum where they're talking about this, and some guy wrote, the film messed me up because I actually like the couple. And that's what's most important about this movie.
Oh, God, I love the couple, yeah.
Yeah, like, they're a good couple. Alexi Gilmore and Bryce Johnson, like, they're just good. They're nice people. I mean, they get lost, but, I mean, they're not really, like, you know, they don't really know the woods. And like this year's Backcountry, you actually like the characters a lot on that, too. But I don't know. For me, Willow Creek, I love Bobcat Goldthwait. I've been watching him ever since Police Academy, and it's like, wait. What did Lisa? I used to be a total drunk, but not a real people person. Like, I don't know. I followed his career. I like him as a director, and I just like, you know, for me, maybe this is something weird about me where I just like two people and a camera found footage movies like Creep and Willow Creek because, you know, working in production for as long as I have, I appreciate that small movies like this can actually hit the mainstream. Like, that's very motivating for me.
And this movie didn't have gimmicks. Like, you know how in the beginning you got like a 5-second scene that you later realize is the end, right? But unlike most found footage scenes end with like people running and screaming or some horrible bloody scene or a police footage thing, and then it starts at the beginning. It's very provocative. They're like, this is where we're going. But the first scene in this that was just like 5 or 10 seconds, it doesn't really hint at exactly what's happening at all.
Yeah.
So they're not going with that gimmick. The only things that people could call jump scares were what I will call a legitimate jump scare, a real occasional noise that you would hear in the woods that would startle you if you were nervous, you know? So like there weren't any just cheap slamming door, loud noise, you know, change of camera angle around the corner jump scares. There's none of that. Like, and the people that they were interviewing, right, on their journey, they weren't overexcited. None of them were giving these like, fish stories. None of them were overly encouraging like, it was all just like, well, yeah, I believe that they exist. And no, I've never seen one. And well, yeah, you want to do this and you want to be careful. It's the wilderness out there. Make sure you bring food. Like it was very practical.
Yeah. And like, even like was it the Harbinger? Like even that guy? I read was
pushing it for me. But.
No, but I read there was a theory that he was probably just more worried about them finding his pot. Like,
could be. No, that's actually, that's legit. Yeah, that's legit.
Like I read that and I was like, okay, all right. So I respect that.
I got one big thing here, and this is not a negative criticism because I realize that this could really happen with these characters, but. Someone brought up the question online that like a big flaw in a lot of these movies. And again, I don't think this is a flaw. I think these are humans, right? If you don't know anyone who has proof of a Bigfoot, all of your planning is going into trying to find a Bigfoot. You never actually stop to think what you're going to do if you encounter one. You just assume I'll film it. And that's where your thought process ends. But like in this movie, this guy really wants to see a Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
Well, what preparation did he have to encounter a Bigfoot other than having a camera on his person? Like, you don't know how they're going to behave. You don't know what they're going to do or if they're dangerous or if they're territorial.
If they'll steal your beef jerky.
Or if they'll take your woman and kill you. Like, in this movie, this guy had been planning this trip with his girlfriend for a long time. This wasn't an impromptu excursion. And he clearly never even considered the possibility that he'd actually encounter one. He just fantasized about it. And
it makes me think about that movie, The Interview, where Seth Rogen goes to China and they're leaving him there with only a bottle of water. And he's like, I packed like a fool. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he was more worried about the engagement. He was more worried about the lark. I don't think he actually thought he was going to find one. But he kind of did it respectfully, though. Like, it wasn't like a disrespectful thing.
Well, again, I think this is a normal any human in existence today who's going out to try and find a Bigfoot, whether or not there are such things. Like, I'll bet they get carried away with their own thoughts and don't think about, well, holy shit, what if I actually find one? Because if you were going out to get footage of gorillas, you'd be thinking like, wait, hold on now. I got to keep a good distance. I need a good zoom lens on this camera to be far away. Like, but for some reason in this, zero forethought. And again, it's very human, though, to not think of that. I agree with that. So I'm not calling it a flaw.
Oh, nice. And you know what's crazy? This is what sums the movie up. John, what do you think the movie got on Rotten Tomatoes? Lazavath, what do you think it got?
Well, I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes page. So did you want me to guess?
No, if you already know.
Well, okay. Let's pretend I didn't see it.
Okay, what would you say if you didn't see it?
70%.
All right, what about you, Levingood? What would you think? Critics.
Boy, I think the critics would say it's better than the audience. I think critics are going to be like 70, 80 plus.
It's 86% critics. Guess what, Lazavath, what would you think audience score?
Creature features usually score pretty high compared to other horror, compared to other horror.
But you don't see the creature in this, so that's why I think it's going to be lower. I think it's going to be like 20 points lower.
I'd go with like 60% audience.
Okay,
score.
so you're both are around 60, 34%.
Ooh,
audience is 34.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? We're both more critic-minded people, even if we're fans as well. So I guess that's interesting.
I mean, but I think expectations are what kill viewers. And I do think this is a smart movie. I think Grabbers, I think Troll Hunter and Willow Creek are smart movies. And they don't offer up tons of gore and the stock. I think sometimes people watch Willow Creek expecting Lance Hendrickson to be in it.
And expecting some huge drooling CGI monstrosity that roars. It roars when no one even knows where it is, and then all of a sudden everyone knows where it is, and it just charges them instead of sneaking up on them.
Yeah, and this movie is not what people would expect, and I think that's why I liked it. When I first heard about it, I'm like, ugh. But then I saw 86%. I read a lot of good stuff about it, and I watched it, and I love it. I think it's a good film. I think it's like a good date night movie.
I got a really random thing here. So now we parsed this down to just 3 movies we were going to discuss today from a bigger list, but 2 of these 3 movies that we have chosen to discuss, and this was not deliberate, are found footage movies. And I got to tell you, I can't go a week on Reddit without seeing someone complaining, I'm sick of all these found footage movies. It's like, I don't know why fans cannot compartmentalize the notion that, like any subgenre or style of film, there are going to be a lot of bad movies. But for some reason, if found footage is hitting 50%, they're like, found footage sucks. It's like, dude, half of the straight to DVD vampire and zombie shit suck. I don't say that vampire and zombie movies suck. Like,
yeah. Maybe they're talking about mainstream found footage, but I've enjoyed a lot of. So you know what the average is between Troll Hunter and Willow Creek? It's 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like these are two, and I mean these are good movies. I don't know, man. We've actually talked about a decent amount of found footage with Creep and Unfriended,
and it's not deliberate. We're just picking movies as we like them.
Yeah, and so I think. It's hard to make a good found footage horror film, but I don't know. What I think is it's one of the cheaper things to do, and people do look for inventiveness in. I think Troll Hunter probably had a bigger budget, but when you look at Unfriended, Creep, Willow Creek, there wasn't much of a budget, and that forced people to focus on characters and moments and likable characters or a really good gimmick. And I think that's the lack of budget forces found footage, which can create a lot of creativity.
Well, I honestly think that if you looked at found footage versus horror in general, that found footage has a way better track record for producing good movies than horror in general.
Ooh.
And I mean like way better. I mean 4 or 5-fold better.
Write it down, Lazavath, and put it on the floor.
Yeah. Really, I swear, man, if even like a third of the found footage movies were decent, think of that with respect to horror, period. A third of horror movies are not decent. They're not. But if 2 out of 3 found footage movies are bad, that someone sees like found footage sucks. Like I just want to slap these people.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lazarus.
The thing is that found footage has an interesting battle to fight. Because a lot of people who don't like found footage movies, they just don't really like the style. Like a lot of times, like the story really has nothing to do with it. Like, found footage for a lot of people is hard to watch. It's hard to, sway people like that.
Hold on now. People who say that they hate found footage or people who say that found footage movies suck aren't people who get motion sickness. Those people just say, "Oh, I can't watch those movies."
Well, you don't necessarily need to have motion sickness to hate these movies.
You know what I mean? You get a headache. You can't follow it.
Yeah.
But the people who are hating on found footage movies aren't people who have trouble focusing on them or who get annoyed by shaky cameras. They're people who are just complaining that they saw a couple shitty movies, and it comes out in their comments.
Right. It's just.
I think you both are right. I think there are people who are just anti-found footage for some reason, and they peg everything as a whole. And then I also think that people lump found footage a lot of times into maybe lazy filmmaking and bad movies. Like I thought Unfriended was crap when I first saw a preview for it. Like I judged it prematurely. I judged Willow Creek before I watched it. So I guess there is a certain amount of judgment maybe that goes into found footage before you watch it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right.
I don't know. That's next week. Found footage talk.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I almost want to like over the next year take all of our blips about found footage movies. I feel like if you took like just a huge soundbite of all of our statements about found footage, like we make a good case for found footage with our podcast. We're not even trying to.
Yeah, except for. Well, I like the first Paranormal Activity, but the rest of them are... Well, no, people love 3 for some reason, but 4 and 5...
I love the first 2.
Interesting.
And then 3, I really didn't like.
4 and 5 are garbage pails.
And then I hated 4 and 5.
The Gallows.
I have to elevate my voice.
Hated.
And guys, so in case we'll discuss these further down in Son of Creature Features, but if you're wondering about the other 2 films that we left out, they are Rogue. It's an Australian crocodile film that is done really well, smart, economically, has a very good cast. Raja Mitchell, she's from the Crazies remake. Sam Worthington from Avatar. It's just a good Mia Wasikowska, I believe, Wasikowska from Stoker and Crimson Peak. It's a very good crocodile film that is it comes across very organically. And then Dog Soldiers. It's Neil Marshall's first directorial debut, I believe, and it's about a bunch of soldiers who come across werewolves in the woods, and it's just an inventive blast of just pure genre energy. So check out Dog Soldiers and Rogue if you get a chance. They're both brilliant films.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Mark. So I haven't seen Rogue, but I have seen Primeval. How would you?
Oh no! I hate Primeval. Oh my god!
Did you really see? I liked Primeval.
That's the worst movie ever made.
I like Primeval.
Oh, I hate Primeval.
Wait, hold on. If I watch Rogue and end up not liking Rogue, then we have, or even if I do like Rogue, we need to have a Primeval versus Rogue podcast.
No, I'll just say you're wrong. It's the worst. You know what Primeval did was they're like, we have no budget, so we're just going to show that crocodile twice and do it really well. But it's just the character, garbage pail. Rogue is 100% Rotten Tomatoes. It's done really. But see, now I'm building up, so you're going to watch it and go, I didn't like it, Mark. But that's not your voice. That's the viewers. But it's just it's smart. Like, so it's good. And I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Rogue and Dog. Don't watch Primeval, people. Don't listen to John. He is he's wrong.
I just said I liked it.
Oh, Primeval. It made Orlando Jones boring, and I hated that.
By the way, for our listeners who are wondering about these movies, I know Troll Hunter and Grabbers at least used to be on Netflix. I don't know if they still are. Do you know?
Troll Hunters is. Yeah, you can watch Troll, but that's great. Watch Troll Hunters on Netflix. Troll Hunter, not the sequel. This is Aliens, but watch Troll Hunter on Netflix. And I really do. I recommend if you want to have a good time, just Troll Hunter Grabbers, and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a Norwegian and Irish film.
In Willow Creek, if you guys have Amazon Prime, it's just an extra $5 a month to have Shudder. I just got Shudder.
Yeah.
I was a Shudder skeptic. I got Shudder. I love Shudder. It's just for horror movies. And so if you get Shudder, then you can watch Willow Creek for free.
That's right. And buy Rogue. And buy Dog. So Dog Soldiers actually just came out. Scream Factory just did a new Blu-ray for it. And Neil Marshall, who gave one of my favorite commentaries of all time on The Descent, brilliant commentary, brilliant behind the scenes. His commentary on Dog Soldiers, if you're into low-budget horror and want to get inside the mind of a great genre filmmaker, you will love the commentary on Dog Soldiers. He discusses how Jason Statham should have been in it. He talks about the breakdown. He put like dancers in the werewolf costumes. So look that up. If you can get that Blu-ray from Scream Factory, I totally recommend it. Just do it. Just buy all 5 of these movies. Watch them and thank us.
Did you just say he put dancers in the werewolf costume?
Yeah, and saying he put actors. He didn't want to do with The Descent and Dog Soldiers. He felt like stuntmen, that picture you put of Chris Evans' stunt double,
right.
Captain America, how graceful they are. Like their moves are beautiful. And so he didn't really want that totally. He didn't want that grace. So he obviously he put dancers, but he put them in the werewolf costumes. Beautiful stage work on Dog Soldiers. I think Neil Marshall is one of the best of building sets on stages. I think the way he does it is beautiful. And then in Descent, which is my favorite horror film aside from Drag Me to Hell, he put actors inside of the crawler costumes just to add some theatrical qualities to them, non-graceful. He wanted them to not be skilled at fighting. So these are all things you can pick up on the commentary, and they're absolutely worth listening to.
I think that our listeners would rather listen to you, Mark.
Listen, I'll watch the movies and talk about it and say what Neil Marshall said.
We should actually have an audio reel of the director's commentary of Neil Marshall's movies with you talking over the commentary over the movie.
I'm down.
It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000B.
Podcasts do that where they just watch a movie and talk about it.
Yeah, Rip Tracks. The Rip Tracks guys. Yeah.
But we're
really
talking over the commentary.
I want to do a podcast where we talk over commentaries. And also what we do in the shadows, that has the most insulting commentary. Don't listen to it. And the best that I've ever listened to is Bubba Hotep, where it's Bruce Campbell playing Elvis, watching Bruce Campbell play Elvis and Bubba Hotep.
Wasn't Robert Downey Jr. in the Tropic Thunder?
He was in character for that. He was really good.
Fun. And then you can drink while you're doing it.
Yeah, and one of the best horror commentaries I've listened to is Breck Eisner on The Crazies. It's a very good low-budget remake that is a very good film. And Breck Eisner talks about, he really breaks down the budget and what he was able to do and what they use for the sets. And it's a very instructive thing if you're planning on getting into film or if you just love film. So The Crazies remake commentary. I'm a nerd.
Cool. All right, guys. I think it's time to say goodbye. But before we do we have any plugs you want to make? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, guys, listen. Thank you for listening. If you get a chance, if you are into our podcast, if you like our podcast, head to iTunes and just give us if a review is too much, just give us a rating. We want to build our numbers on that. We want to keep growing. We want to, obviously we're going to keep podcasting, but, just let us know what you think about our podcast. And also, give us some questions. If you listen to these sometimes and you're wondering if you have some some things you're pondering, just ask us and we'll answer it to these 12% of our best possibilities.
To the same erratic inaccuracy that you hear us answer our other listener questions.
That's right.
Thanks again to the Facebook groups that tolerate me requesting listener questions from you guys. Everything Sci-Fi and Fantasy group, the Creepy Central Facebook group. Look for us on also Blog Talk Radio. You can listen to us live. It's Movies, Films, and Flicks with an X, not a CKS for the flicks. And you can find us at Movies, Films, Flicks on Twitter and MFF for Movies, Films, and Flicks Horror Corner on Twitter. And hey, guys, check out Shark Dropper. They do all our production, and they do a load of other podcasts, including some horror-themed podcasts.
And listen to their 100th episode, which is insane.
Yeah, it was, probably even worse than usual.
And we're both on it. And I don't know what we're talking about.
You talk about comparing their entire podcast's inventory to According to Jim. And I was talking about the statistics of black people in the United States with respect to Will Smith versus Denzel Washington in the Oscars.
It was a lively discussion. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. And thanks again for listening, guys. It's been fun, but we can't record all night because we gotta go.
All night long.
Yeah. For my co-host, Mark Hoffmeyer.
Kurt Russell.
We should all sing together at the end of the podcast.
Let's do it. Movies, films, and flicks.
Movies, films, and flicks.
We got the flicks. You got the movies.
We got the films.
I think we just lost all of our listeners. So, yeah.
Good night, Cleveland.
Yeah. Later.
This is Wichita.
Above the target. T-minus 5 seconds till shark drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the shark. Go, go, go!
This podcast is a Shark Dropper Studios production.